Good morning, this is Dr. Turner for Integrated Math 2. Today we're going to be discussing 3.3, which is graphing quadratic functions in vertex form and in intercept form. As we mentioned in 3.1, as I'll bring up here in a second, the goal between units 3, 4, and 5 is to be able to identify the key features of a parabolic function. And so each step along the way, as we're going through, we want to be able to identify each of these key features. So we talked about in the three forms that we have, how do you identify a y-intercept? How do you identify a vertex? How do you identify x-intercepts? How do you identify the axis of symmetry? So this should be in your 3.1 notes, but we'll bring it up again just here. So remember that standard form, that's your easiest way to identify the y-intercept. Whatever the c value is 0, c. In vertex form, y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Whatever h and k are, that's your vertex. Your factored form, y equals a times x minus r1 times x minus r2, or x minus p times x minus q. Those values are your x-intercepts. In 3.2, we looked at standard form and how to identify the vertex using the formula here, x equals negative b over 2a. That told us our axis of symmetry, and then it allowed us to plug in that value and find out what the y term was for our vertex. If we were doing this in person, you would be expected to kind of be able to do each of these things separately, right? We need to find each of the pieces so that we could then label it on a piece of graph paper and sketch it out. Obviously, we're using Desmos a lot here because we're doing it online. And so you can verify your answer using Desmos, but you should be able to do these things by hand or on paper as well. Okay. So, a couple questions on the assignment for 3.3 are just simply asking you to identify key features based on the graph. So we'll pull up Desmos here. So you should by now in 3.1 be able to identify different types of forms. So remember that if you have one set of parentheticals, that's typically going to be vertex form. So you have a couple questions on this assignment for 3.3 that will just ask you to simply say, okay, here's an equation, y equals x minus 3, quantity squared plus 1, what's the vertex? So for your assignment, all I'm asking you to do is tell me the vertex, which would be 3, 1, because your vertex is h, k. If we were in person, you'd be using that additionally to do it on paper, right? That gives us one of the key features that's going to help us sketch our graph. Now, I'm just asking for the vertex. What is it? We'll be putting all these things together in the later sections of Unit 3 and then getting into Unit 4 and 5. Another example, y equals 2 times x plus 5, quantity squared minus 3. Remember that your formula for vertex form is y equals x minus h, quantity squared plus k. So you have to kind of take the opposite sign when you're looking at that h value. So if I have a plus 5 here inside the parentheses, that means my vertex is negative 5. So you have a few questions like that. Just identify what the vertex is, 1, 2, 3, 4. Also in this section, you're asked to look at intercept form and identify the intercepts. So easiest way to identify intercept form is when you have two sets of parentheticals. So let's say I have y equals x minus 3 times x minus 4. And again, if we're using Desmos to verify our answers, we're able to see what those points are on the graph. If we were doing this on paper, then we would need to sketch those out and then sketch the curve. So in this form, remembering just like with vertex form that the formula is x minus p times x minus q, or x minus r1 times x minus r2. Whatever those values are, I sort of need to take the opposite sign. So here I have y equals x minus 3 times x minus 4. Therefore, my intercepts, or my zeros, are 3, 0, Subsequent questions in the assignment will ask you to graph and label using Desmos. So like we see here on the left-hand side, if you just click that checkbox, it'll label those points for you. Let's look at another assignment. Y equals 2 times x plus 1 times x minus 5. And remember, you can always zoom in, zoom out to adjust the window setting. Opposite signs, so if I have x plus 1, that means one of my roots is -1, comma 0. And if I have x minus 5, that means my other 0 is 5. So we are taking this just step by step. Once we get to the end of Unit 3, we're going to put it all together. I'm trying to make these a little bit easier and less tasks in each assignment so that you guys are working with me here step by step. All I want you to be able to do is if I give you vertex form, tell me the vertex. If I give you intercept form, tell me the intercepts. And then be able to plug it into Desmos like we've been doing with the previous Unit 3 assignments, like 3.1, 3.2. Type it in, and then just highlight those key features. X-intercepts, Y-intercepts, your axis of symmetry, and your vertex. That's all for today, guys. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, mturner@psasb.us. Otherwise, have a good day, and I will talk to you soon.